Matt, thank you. Well, listen to this. The prosecution just wrapped up their closing arguments today in the case of Sean Combs. This happened in the last 10 minutes. Those arguments took 5 hours to get through. So that's just the prosecution. The defense's closing arguments are to start tomorrow. NBC's Jay Gray is in New York. He's outside the courtroom. So is there 5 hours, you think, how can they even concentrate and absorb all of that information? But curious to know from you, Jay, if you can tell, any sense of what the defense was feeling as they watched all of this today?
Well, I think there's no question for the defense, Christy, that they have to sit there. There's no objections during a closing argument, and they have to listen to the prosecution really berate their client and make their case one final time for the jury. So I'm sure a lot of frustration, but also studying this very closely. And there was some communication between Sean Combs and his attorneys, and no doubt figuring out how they're going to rebut this when they get their last chance with the jury tomorrow. I can tell you that the emotions, the intensity has really ratcheted up a bit, even outside the courthouse. We saw in the last hour or so a little spat between two women, one who supports Combs, one who thinks he should go to jail for the rest of his life. So a lot of people, as this gets closer to a conclusion, really interested and invested after more than 6 weeks of testimony here in this case. I can tell you the prosecution began today holding nothing back, swinging from the start of their closing arguments, calling Combs, and I'm quoting here, the leader of a criminal enterprise. They described him as an architect and active participant in conspiracy, racketeering, and sex trafficking, and going on to say, quoting again here, across all of these crimes, he used power, violence, and fear to get what he wanted. He doesn't take no for an answer. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all of the charges he faces, and as we talked about, his defense team will get their turn with the jury one last time tomorrow, and then we likely see deliberations start either tomorrow afternoon, but I would think probably Monday.
Okay, real quick question for you. Closing arguments tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's notable is they did not call one witness. Is the expectation that they could go as long in their closing arguments as the prosecution did today?
You know, Christy, what I've heard is 4 hours for the defense. Now, that's give or take. So, yeah, I think we're in for another full day in the courtroom tomorrow.
Wow. All right. Jay Gray, we're so glad you're there to break it down for us. Thank you, sir.